Hiya! Welcome! Here we are with Records Roundup number 101, and before we get cracking on with this special themed edition, I just want to say thank you to all of you who've watched Records Roundup 100 Best of show. That was a lot of fun to make, just kind of looking back on nearly 4 years, wow, and trying to pick out some highlights and some interesting stuff that I showed. Of course, that is still available in the Records Roundup playlist if you haven't watched that yet. And at the end of Records Roundup 100, it did say that we would be back to business as normal shortly after, and this is really back to normal routine Records Roundup, apart from the fact that what with me having got a lot of records from this particular artist or act, I felt that we needed to do another artist themed edition before the normal various different releases edition that will be coming along pretty soon. I'm only waiting on a couple of records that are released tomorrow as of me recording this, and then number 102 in the series should be along shortly. Anyway, you know which act we're covering today. It's the fantastic synth-pop duo Erasure, Andy Bell, Vince Clarke, formed in the mid-1980s and have been one of my favourite groups, one of my favourite duos certainly, for many years now. And this is essentially me kind of, I don't want to say upgrading, because I've got a lot of time for the audio cassette format, and I always will, but I fancied getting a lot of what I had of Erasure on tape on LP instead. A lot of their albums and a couple of EPs and what have you I did have on vinyl anyway, so this isn't going to be like everything they've ever released, don't worry. But this is stuff that I previously had on cassette that I decided I wanted to get on vinyl now. So let's get cracking on with this Erasure special and look at the earliest of their albums to show you. If you can class it as an album, I would more likely call it a double EP myself. But this is the Two Ring Circus. So this would have come out shortly after their The Circus album, which would have been, I think that was their second studio album. And this is a 2-disc remixes album really, but I'd more consider it like a double EP really, especially as you have to play this at 45 RPM on your turntable. This is an original release. It did have a Record Store Day reissue on, I think, yellow vinyl some years ago, but the prices on the aftermarket, they weren't absolutely outrageous, but I've got a lot of original Erasure vinyl, a mixture of original and reissues, and you'll see some reissues shortly anyway. So I didn't mind getting an original copy of this. In a way, the cassette version is probably better because it has some live tracks on it, whereas this is just remixes from tracks from The Circus and I think 1 or 2 from their debut album Wonderland as well. As this is pre-owned, we might as well have a little look at the vinyl and the inner sleeves and what have you. There you go, it's telling you what speed that you need to put this on at. There's a look at the disc itself, or one of the discs. I won't show you the other one as it's going to look more or less identical. So this was a purchase with something else Erasure related from a Discogs seller, the Two Ring Circus, and also the NEEP, or the NEE EP I always want to call it, or you could say NEEP really. I won't keep saying it, but yes, something else I had on cassette but decided I would upgrade to the vinyl. This is obviously an EP, but unlike the Two Ring Circus, where it could be argued the cassette edition is better because there's more on it, the vinyl edition in this case is certainly worth upgrading from the tape, as this has a bonus CD within it. So this would have come out, was this around 2022? I think this was a Record Store Day issue, but it wasn't too badly priced. By the way, the Two Ring Circus, that was £10 I think, and this was around 20. But I was happy to pay 20 as it's got a bonus CD in it, if I can find it to get it out. and there's different mixes on that. That is basically the NEEP remixed. How many tracks on there? 8 tracks on here, but they're all remixes of stuff that's on here and a bit more besides from the Neon, presumably. Just a little look at the CD. It's nice turquoisey colour though. I'll show you the vinyl for the NEEP as well, as it is coloured. That is, I mean, it's a very, very light, clear pink, really, isn't it? It might be looking okay on camera. Sort of me sat behind it, it just looks like clear vinyl, really, with the tiniest bit of purpley or pink spatter. Oh, there is a download code on the inner sleeve as well, if anyone wants to use it, if it hasn't been used already, which I don't think it will have been, because I think I opened this when I got it. I unsealed it. I mean, that should be a fresh download code, I think. 2 good purchases from Discogs there, NEEP and 2 Ring Circus. Next item, and these aren't going to be in any chronological order, as you can no doubt tell, with the 2 Ring Circus from 87, we jumped all the way to 2022 for the EP. And this is a reissue of Erasure's self-titled album. This was from a Discogs seller. This had a pretty good reduction on it, because I think the sleeve's a bit damaged. Yeah, the sleeve's a bit tatty on the back, but I didn't mind. Only way to get it for a half decent price on vinyl, certainly. As this is pre-owned, we'll take a look at the inner and the vinyl as well. Good album this. I like all the Erasure, really. I don't think they've released a particularly bad album. They've released 1 or 2 that have been maybe verging on above average. This one, the singles on it are Fingers and Thumbs, Rock Me Gently, and I think Stay With Me were all singles from this album. Nothing really else to say about it. Erasure by Erasure. Oh, the year it originally came out was 1995.
Look at the state of you, your fingers and thumbs. So who's your latest flame? Driving a mile in the fast lane. I won't say I told you so, but the boy has no shame. Once when my hands were full, we were double or quits and some, nothing at all to show for our love so precious. Gone and blown it all. How can you say it doesn't matter much to me? A dumb mistake, too much to pay. A shattered heart and lost to break.
Okay, I can show you a pickup from Mute Bank now. Obviously, Erasure have been on the Mute record label since their existence, so that's going to be 40 plus years ago that they signed to the important and excellent indie label Mute Records. This album, it's got one of my all-time favourite Erasure singles on it, and the price at Mute Bank for a brand new and sealed, albeit a reissue copy, was very reasonable. This is I Say, I Say, I Say. It's in the Erasure 30 reissue campaign from around 2016, although I think some of them were left over to 2017. So is this one, by the way. This was part of the Erasure 30 campaign, but there's no hype sticker there. Just a 1-discer, and it's black vinyl again, so we can move fairly swiftly on from here. Always was the lead single, and that will always be one of my very favourite Erasure songs. Other singles on here, I Love Saturday and Run to the Sun. I Say, I Say, I Say.
When no disguise for me, come into the open. When it's cold outside, am I here in vain? Hold on to the night, there will be no shame. Always I wanna be
wedding tonight, do you know that? I could do with staying in front of the telly. Every single bloke she ever goes out with, it's ridiculous. It's like she can't even trust her own instincts. I go through this with her every single time. I'm going to be late. Shall I leave my shirt in there? Gav? Am I talking to myself? Hello, am I talking to myself? Oh, Thomas.
Oh, Thomas? Yeah, all very well doing that, mate. Ruined the shirt. Marvellous.
Bachelor's super duper whooper noodles.
This next record, we go into more the modern era of Erasure, or at least the late 2010s, and this was a purchase from a site I'd never used before called Strummer Room Records, and they are based, I believe, in Banbury, Oxfordshire. And this was such a good price there. This was £10. I say, by the way, that was about 20 plus some in postage from Mute Bank. This was 10 plus a bit more in postage. And this is World Be Gone. This was a little bit of a renaissance for Erasure. It was their first top 10 album in quite some years, in 2017 I think. It did drop out of the chart the following week though, but that kind of happens a lot, especially these days. I believe the same happened to Make Up Is a Lie by Morrissey quite recently. So a single disc album. This is on black vinyl as well. It did come out on, it would have been presumably blue vinyl, and I could have picked that up for a relatively inexpensive price from somewhere, but because this was so cheap, and I don't really mind what colour the records are when I'm collecting Erasure, I just thought I'll stick with the black edition as it was so cheap, a tenner brand new. So World Be Gone. But then what came out maybe a year or so, perhaps a bit under a year after World Be Gone, was the orchestral version, World Beyond. This is a pickup from another site I'd never used before, although I have covered them on the channel by now. They're called Curly Kid Records. They are based in Brighton, I think. I did do one of my 12-inch haul videos of all the things that I picked up with the Erasure World Beyond album that was on the channel, I don't know, a week or two ago. I'm not sure what my schedule is as I'm sat here, but Curly Kid Records has been shown on the channel now. But this is the first time I've been able to talk about them. The price it was up for wasn't exactly cheap. If it wasn't for a 30% off voucher that you get if you just sign up to their newsletter at Curly Kid, this wouldn't have been worth getting from there really. But this ended up costing, after a 30% discount, about 18, maybe coming up for £19, which was pretty much as cheap as I could find it on Discogs, etc. Had this on tape as well, as I did everything else here, and from what I remember of this was a pleasant enough listen without being as overly exciting as its big brother here, World Be Gone. But now it's got a neo-classical take on the album that came before it really. I did open this because I know this only came out on a non-black vinyl variant, and it is a relatively translucent red. We do have a download code there as well. There was another album I picked up along with this and the 5 12-inch singles from Curly Kid, but that had nothing to do with Erasure, and I will show you what that is in Records Roundup 102, which will be along pretty soon, I think, on the channel. But that was World Beyond. Right, mail opening to do now. One more Erasure album I needed on vinyl to basically ensure I've got everything by them on LP. This has come from a seller on Discogs in the Netherlands, and yes, there was a bit of tax to pay on it, but it still worked out cheaper than anywhere else that I could find it, certainly in the UK, let alone anywhere else around the world. Can't remember if this is pre-owned or if it's a new and sealed item. Oh no, it is new and sealed. And it is the album from 1997, I think, albeit reissued in more recent years, Cowboy. There again, it's going to be on black vinyl. I do like that Erasure 30 hype sticker that we get at the top left. The singles on here, In My Arms, a good single. I think I had that on CD single back in the day, although it was one I think I picked out of a bargain bin for something like 50p. Don't Say Your Love Is Killing Me, I think, was also a single, and possibly Save Me Darling as well. So there we go.
Deal is on the rise again. The ship comes into shore. Been away to somewhere where life goes on no less. Through the foreign oceans, underneath the sea, walls come tumbling down. We'll be forever calm. You'll be here in my arms. I'll keep you away from harm. I thought about you twice just then. You get me every time.
So that's it. Quite a short and sweet records roundup compared to usual ones, but I'm sure we'll be back to a more substantial length. Whether that's good news or bad news, you be the judge. Next time for 102, and like I say, I'm only waiting on a couple more records to come in the mail that are both meant to be out tomorrow. One I know is definitely on the way, and the other one might get dispatched later on today, and it's not really going to make any difference to you because I schedule these quite well in advance anyway. I'm pretty certain episode 102 of this fine series that has now gone for about 4 years and over 100 editions is going to carry on in the near future and beyond. But thank you all for watching today. Hope you enjoyed this look at some Erasure albums, a highly recommended act from me, obviously. I want to say special thanks to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and of course I'm going to get stuck into all this Erasure. I had it all on tape, but it's been a long time since I've played any of them. Really felt that this was an act that I wanted to have all on vinyl, more of an OCD thing than anything else really, but that's not to denigrate or disrespect the legacy of the wonderful audio cassette. And I can't wait to get stuck into all this stuff from Andy Bell and Vince Clarke. And I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next records roundup and record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya.